Hello everyone, I am Jennifer Kumar, your cross-cultural coach and now somehow motivational speaker. I have to make funny expressions. So why am I saying motivational speaker? Because me, a motivational speaker, no, please, come on, give me a break, right? No, let me explain to you what happened today on July 1st, 2011, here in Kochi, India. Those of you who have been following me know about my progression of life coaching over the last few years in US, cross-cultural coaching. 3 months ago, we moved to India. And since then, things have been kind of going very fast for me. And I'm very happy to be here, despite all the great culture shocks that I'm experiencing. Hopefully that will make me a better cross-cultural coach. So I will explain to you what the seminars were like, some of the feedback I have about that, and some cross-cultural observations, and maybe some of my thoughts about future presentations I could give to these students or other students around here. So this is how the setup was. I had given 3 seminars to a total of 120 students. Sounds impressive, right? It was for me, for a first-time person doing this. I was very nervous, but everything seemed to go very well. So these 120 students were divided into 3 sections. The first year students were divided into 2 sections. So the first group was 30 or 40 students, the second group was 30 or 40 students, and the third group, the remaining 60 or so students, were actually second year students. Each group was very motivating to me. These are my observations. Okay, number 1 is I loved how people actually responded to me as I was talking. Now, some people were taking notes. I am not a professor at this college. They will not be given an exam on my presentation. They have no obligation to take notes from my presentation. Yet something was interesting to them. Maybe they might want to refer to it later or think about it later. Many students took out their pens and papers and took notes. That's motivating to me. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, because it shows to me that something was very interesting to you, enough to write it down. Now, the second kind of motivator was facial expressions. Now, since I came to Kerala, I've been having a hard time making out or understanding facial expressions. Though I have many Indian friends in America, I found it fascinating and quite surprising that I was having a hard time figuring out facial expressions or lack thereof here in Kerala. But I should say that the students have no dearth of facial expressions. They're very animated, and I hope that their facial expression means what I think it means. Then I'm okay with that. Even if not, maybe I need to learn some more about nonverbal communication in India, which is always a good thing to learn. So I got feedback like, that's interesting, or I don't understand, or what other kind of facial expressions? Happiness, some smiles, or a disbelief, like, oh, really? So many facial expressions. I was actually very happy to see so many people showing their feelings through facial expression. It gives me feedback. Invaluable feedback, actually. There was actually another kind of feedback I got. Some of the students were so moved by certain parts of the presentation, whether they be the motivational videos or maybe stories I told during the presentation, that they made sounds during the presentation, like some people gasped, like, really? Or some people were like clapping, or some people were like, wow, great, or some people actually talked back to the video like, yeah, I know about that. This was a cross-cultural moment for me, because in America, it's very rare, I have noticed anyway, in my limited experience, that students would give this kind of verbal feedback during a presentation. I'm very much aware of Indian culture in the sense that I've been to many cultural programs, presentations, concerts, and this is in India and America, and Indians seem to love to give feedback verbally during the presentation, not by necessarily conversation or questions, but by making sounds. You might actually hear this more in movies with the hooting and hollering and stuff. Actually, there was a little hooting during some of the motivational videos. Like, they were very motivated by some of those videos, especially the one about Indians doing great things. I mean, even I'm pretty motivated by that. So that was one of my impressions. That's also a cross-cultural difference. And I'm taking it in a positive note. I'm hoping that by them taking notes, giving me facial expression as response, and by their noise making, that they're actually happy with what they're hearing, and I should focus on encouraging that, because it actually gives a nice feeling to the presentation. People aren't just silent sitting there like in American presentations. I know they're not sleeping. So that's very encouraging to me, and I understand the culture, and I have no problem with it. Now, I have a few observations, feedback, based on a few other things I noticed. Now, after each presentation in each of the three groups, one of the students had gotten up to summarize my talk. And in all three of the summaries, I just have to say how impressed I am. In four or five sentences, each person summarized what I talked about in 45 minutes. Maybe you can teach me that skill. That's a great communication skill. That shows that you were really listening to what I was saying. You were actively listening, not passively listening. And you were able to retain what I was talking about in such a way that you could summarize it very easily and very quickly and very confidently, in fact. You got up in front of your classmates and you talked, and then you thanked me, and then everyone clapped. It was very nice. Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I think the first batch, Asif, did that. The second batch, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. And the third batch, Asha. Thank you, Asha. The second observation was asking questions. Now, the principal had come in and encouraged the students to ask me questions. Now, I did get my feedback through, like I said, nonverbal and verbal ways, and also people taking notes. But asking questions, a little, not so much. So maybe rather than take that as a negative thing, I'm going to take that as a challenge and somehow try to figure out a training for that. How to have a creative mind, problem solve, and ask questions. Because as managers, that's a very important skill to motivate people, is creative thinking, problem solving, and always asking questions. So I hope to work on that. I would like to end this report card by sharing with you the most interesting experience today. And this is definitely a cross-cultural experience that I have never had in America, and probably I can't imagine ever having in America. And I love it. It's just so great. So I was finishing my talk to the second batch, And one of the students had gotten up to summarize and say thank you. Before he started talking about the summary, he asked me a very important question. So, your name is Jennifer Kumar. Why do you have the name Jennifer Kumar? I answered the first thing that came on my mind. I am married to a Malayali. Immediately, every single student, 40 students or more, started clapping. Now, okay, my husband Krishna is a Malayali. He's an Indian. Now, if he goes to America and he gives a talk to someone and somehow says he's married to an American, I can probably guarantee with 99.9% accuracy that he will not have an audience full of people clapping at him for that purpose. And here were an audience of 40 or 50 people clapping at me simply because I said I'm married to a Malayali. Now, I think everybody in the class is a Malayali. So, of course, they're very excited to hear about that. Now, this is a cross-cultural learning experience. We might all read about it in books, but here is a real-life experience of why relationships are so much valued so much differently in Asian countries. In American culture, nobody would bother much if you say you're married to an American. I mean, not in this way, not being praised for it maybe in such a public way by almost getting a standing ovation for it. So why would they do it? I mean, I can only guess one reason. When they see me, I'm an outsider. They have nothing to relate to me by. Yes, I'm wearing a sari. It doesn't matter much as compared to saying that you are integrated into the culture by being married to somebody who's from here. That's a different kind of insider perspective, and ultimately that gives them a deeper reason to relate to me, because I not only can wear a sari or things like that, but I have Malayali family members. If I have a Malayali husband, I have a Malayali family member somewhere. So I would be involved in the culture in a different way than a foreigner who is visiting, or even a foreigner who is living here who is not married to an Indian or a Malayali. So they felt an instant connection to me, and they were so excited about that, they started clapping about it. You know, it's a great memory for me. Thank you. I mean, you may have thought you were doing what came naturally to you, but it was such an unnatural experience for me. It's so memorable because it was just, I understand why it happened, and I'm very, very happy that, you know, that made you happy somehow. I'm glad to be here in India. I'm glad to be learning about your culture. And moreover, more importantly, I'm glad to have met you, be inspired by you, and motivated by you. I might have been there to talk about motivation, but without you, I can't be motivated to do this again. So thank you. So I hope that some of these points were interesting. You get to know a little bit about my progression in my coaching practice here in India, as well as, because I'm a cross-cultural coach, some cross-cultural aspects of the life. And I'm really learning a lot. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Can't ask for anything else. So it's only uphill from here. It's only uphill from here. So thank you, everybody, for your support, your encouragement, your motivation, and I know there's only more in store for everybody. So again, thank you everybody at Jai Bharath, and I have to say thank you to Dr. Nisam, who started rolling this in motion for me. Moreover, thank you Open Coffee Kerala for giving me the time to give a networking presentation 2 months ago where I met Dr. Nisam, who put me in touch with Jai Bharath College. Thank you Principal Babu Raj, who gave me this opportunity to talk to your students. and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you to Asha, one of the second years who summarized. Thank you to Asif, who not only summarized my talk, I think, but I know had given me some good questions to think about. Please email me and we'll have more discussions on that. And thank you to each and every student, which I cannot name here, because without you, I cannot give the presentation. Thank you very much. I hope to meet you again. I hope to interact with you on a more personal level. Not me talking to you, but me talking with you in a conversation. So I hope to do that very soon. I'm very eager to get to know you. And I hope and wish you all the best success. And I know we will meet again. Thank you very much. And thank you for watching this super long video. I appreciate it. And if you have any comments or questions, you can always email me. Somewhere on the screen should be my email address. So have a great day, everyone. And again, thank you for watching. Bye.